From the Podwires newsroom at joinpodwires.com.
Good morning, Podwires. I'm Jenny Johnset. It's Wednesday, October 8th, and you're listening to Podwires 5 Things. Today, we're diving deep into the podcast world. A new platform launches to help indie creators get discovered. Spotify integrates AI for personalized recommendations, and a major UK media company makes big moves in video podcasting. Plus, award season is heating up with a crucial deadline this Friday, and we've got the latest industry rankings. If you're a podcast creator, listener, or just curious about where audio is headed, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. First up, a game-changing initiative for independent podcast creators who struggle to get their narrative shows funded. Resonate Podcast Festival and Tink Media just launched Pitch Party, a new podcast feed that's basically a matchmaking service for indie creators and production companies. Here's how it works. Every episode features a different podcast pilot from an independent producer. Production company reps can listen to this curated feed to decide if a show is a good fit for their roster. And for audio lovers, you can tune in to discover forthcoming shows before they even officially launch. Plus, get bonus episodes featuring conversations with the creators about the making of process. The concept grew out of Resonate Pitch Party, an annual competition where 3 contestants pitch their storytelling podcast ideas in front of festival goers and judges for a chance to win $10,000 to create their pilot episode. That competition has already created success stories. In 2024, a podcast production company rep in the audience offered the winner a contract to produce their show on the spot. That's the kind of serendipitous matchmaking they're trying to scale. Kioki Lyanson, who founded the festival, explained the problem this solves. There are people making great shows that make no money, and there are a lot of cool ideas for shows that could exist, but they can't get the support they need. And here's why that support matters. Narrative podcasts think investigative series, scripted dramas, deeply reported stories can take weeks or months to research, script, edit, and sound score a single episode. Unlike Chatcast, those conversation-driven podcasts that are relatively cheap and quick to produce, narrative shows need serious backing. Without production company support for upfront costs, promotion, and advertiser procurement, it's almost impossible for indie creators to sustain this work. Lauren Passell, founder of Tink Media, which operates 2 leading industry newsletters and offers podcast marketing services, said, Pitch Party could not be more aligned with Tink's passion, shining a light on the hugely unsupported indie creators we believe are making the best things. Starting October 10th, that's this Friday, Pitch Party will release weekly episodes across all podcast platforms. Important note, it's a curated feed, so they're not currently accepting unsolicited submissions. But anyone can enter the annual Resonate Pitch Party contest when submissions open each June. This feels like an important development for the industry. Narrative podcasts have been crowded out recently, even as they garner critical acclaim. This could help change that. Speaking of innovation, Spotify just launched a ChatGPT integration that could change how we discover music and podcasts. Both free and premium Spotify users can now connect their accounts to ChatGPT for personalized recommendations. You literally just ask ChatGPT what you want to listen to, and it surfaces tailored suggestions instantly. Here's what's cool. The integration uses real-time context from your conversations. So if you're chatting with ChatGPT about your mood, activities, or interests, it can recommend audio that fits that specific moment. Once connected, ChatGPT presents playable links that open directly in the Spotify app, super seamless across web and mobile. Now, there's a difference between free and premium. Free listeners get access to Spotify's existing curated playlists like Discover Weekly and New Music Friday. Premium subscribers can request fully personalized playlists created from their actual listening habits. The feature works in English across 145 countries and supports ChatGPT Free, Plus, and Pro users. Spotify says it'll continue to evolve as they refine the technology, combining data-driven personalization with expertise from their human editors. Now, privacy-conscious listeners will want to know this. Connecting the service is completely optional and user-controlled. Spotify emphasized that no music, podcast, or video content will be shared with OpenAI for training purposes. That's a crucial distinction given all the AI training controversies lately. For podcast discovery specifically, this could be huge. Instead of scrolling through endless recommendations, you could just tell ChatGPT, I want a true crime podcast about art haste with a female host, and boom, you get options. The conversational interface makes discovery feel more natural. Major UK media news now. Global just launched Global Studios, a new creative hub designed to lead in video-first podcasting, and they've acquired the Fellas Studios. For context, Global is a massive UK media company. They're now positioning Global Studios as a one-stop shop for creators, with premium video and audio production facilities, multi-platform distribution, and marketing support powered by Global's extensive radio, digital, and outdoor networks. Global Studios will house Global's award-winning podcast slate, including The News Agents and My Therapist Ghosted Me, alongside hit titles from the fellow studios like The Fellas, Saving Grace, Pitch Side, and Batch and Arthur. The Fellow Studios acquisition is particularly interesting. It was founded in 2021 by YouTubers Callum Airey, known as Cal Freezy, and Joshua Larkin, aka The Burnt Chip. They've built a strong following among Gen Z audiences, with shows attracting millions of views and listens across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and social platforms. This is Global making a clear play for younger audiences through creator-driven content. Ashley Tabor King, Global's founder and executive president, said this marks the next chapter in Global's on-demand audio and video growth. The integration includes technology from Captivate, that's a podcast hosting platform, and monetization expertise from Dax, which is Global's advertising exchange. So creators and advertisers get access to advanced data insights and revenue opportunities. This feels like a significant consolidation move in the UK podcast market. Global is essentially building a vertically integrated creator ecosystem, production facilities, distribution networks, advertising tech, all under one roof. And the video-first emphasis is notable. We're seeing this industry-wide shift where podcasts aren't just audio anymore. YouTube is becoming as important as Spotify or Apple Podcasts for many shows. Quick but important update for podcast creators. The regular submission deadline for the AMBIES Awards is this Friday, October 10th. The AMBIES are presented by the Podcast Academy, and they're considered the premier celebration of excellence in podcasting. There are new categories this year, including Best Emerging Podcast and Podcaster of the Year. Winners will be honored live in New York on February 23rd, 2026, right before On Air Fest. Why should creators care? Recognition from peers across the podcast industry, visibility with listeners, press, and fellow creators. And honestly, it just looks good on your show's resume. If you've got a show that launched or had standout episodes in the eligibility period, now's the time to submit. More info at ambies.com. And even if you're not entering, the AMBIES are worth following because they surface some of the best podcasts you might have missed. Finally, Podtrac just released their September 2025 rankings for top US and global publishers, networks, and podcasts. Podtrac is one of the major podcast analytics companies, so these rankings give us a snapshot of what's performing well and where the industry is trending. Some highlights. 7 of the US ranking participants saw unique monthly audience growth in September over August. 14 participants were up on US downloads month over month. Globally, 4 of the top networks increased their global downloads, streams, and views. Podtrac also just launched new top podcasts by country rankings, covering 35 countries. So if you're curious about what's popular in Germany, Australia, Canada, or elsewhere, you can now see that data. You can view all the rankings at podtrac.com, and you can register to receive updates when new rankings drop each month. The growth numbers are encouraging, suggesting the podcast industry is still in healthy expansion mode. Those are your 5 stories from the podcast industry for Wednesday, October 8th. From indie creator support systems to AI-powered discovery, major studio launches, awards deadlines, and industry rankings. Lots happening in the audio world right now. If you're a podcast creator, Friday's deadline for both Pitch Party launch and NW submissions is definitely circled on your calendar. And if you're a listener, keep an eye on that Pitch Party feed starting Friday. You might discover your next favorite show before it even officially launches. I'm Jenny. Don't forget to subscribe to joinpodwires.com, and thank you for your continued support and be a paid subscriber. Stay informed, stay creative, and keep those headphones on. Thank you.
That's your wrap. Want the inside track on podcasting? JoinPodwires.com is your next stop. Subscribe to the newsletter for the latest trends and tap into the marketplace to connect with jobs, creators, and brands shaping audio's future. Don't just listen, get involved. Head to joinpodwires.com today.